So here's one suggestion on how we might get these kids to understand the area model. And this is by kind of doing it backwards. We're going to start by taking smaller pieces and seeing how we can combine them into a bigger number, which will then lead us to conclude that we can do the opposite. So this one right here, it's a simple problem. We need a 4 by 2 and a 6 by 2. And so should be easy enough, oops, to say that clear 4 times 2 is 8, and 6 times 2 is 12. And if we add those together, we get 20. But we can look at this on this next slide and think about, okay, how would we break this down visually? Well, we have a 2 by 4 space, and we have a 2 by 6 space. And if we look at this, we'll see that 4 plus 6 is actually 10. So this whole top piece right here is 10. And the problem can be put together much simpler as 10 times 2, which is 20. And that's what we got in that first example. So we saw, okay, we had a smaller problem, but we added these things together to make an even simpler problem. So now we might go and add on to what we just did. We're going to add on to our garden with a 6 by 8 and a 4 by 8. And your students certainly might do. Okay, started off with 20. We have a 6 times 8, 48. We have a 4 times 8, 32. Okay, we'll add 0, 1, 8. And they might say, ooh, 100. And that would be good. But let's think about it visually again. Let's look at our earlier piece where we have our 2 by 4 and our 6. So that divides right there. Well, we now know that we have an 8 by 4 and an 8 by 6. So we could see that, oh, okay, we have this member is 10 and this is 10. It's a 10 by 10 square. So our answer is 100. So now if we are able to break a problem down and make it into these smaller bits right here, what's preventing, or take this broken problem and putting it together, what's preventing us from doing the opposite? Well, I could take 10 and I could break it down into 8 plus 2. And I could take 10 and I could break it down into 4 plus 6. So can I do that with 17? Can I break 17 down into 7 and 10? Yeah, I sure can. And I can break it down into 7 and 10. Now I just need to multiply these. And I'm able to add all of those together now to figure out what 17 times 17 was. And we could do practice with these different things to break them down, to see all of those, how we add those things together. But eventually we'll be able to make the connection that 27 times 19, when I'm doing 7 times 9, remember that's this part right here. So that's 63. When I'm doing this 2, we have to remember that's 2 tens, that's 20. So 20 times 9 is this part right here, and that's 180. And then when I'm doing 7, This is times 10 right there. So we have this 7 times 10, which is 70. And then we have this 20 times 10, which is this big space right here, which is 200, and adding those together. So I think, yeah, we got kind of a good tool to help us through that. I think this using this tool in conjunction with the problems that they practice on and being able to break them down will help them visually understand these two-digit problems, and eventually they won't need this at all, because they'll be able to just do this method and understand the reason why we're putting a 0 here.